Now that you've drawn, outlined with Sharpie, and erased all pencil marks, let's add color. But we're not just going to add any color, we're going to learn how to blend colors. One of the ways we can do that is blending warm with warm colors and cool with cool colors. Warm colors remind us of heat. They are red, orange, yellow, anything in between, and they're lighter versions such as peach or pink. Cool colors make us feel cold. They're purple, blue, and green. And then any variations in between, such as blue-violet or blue-green. Let's see what you remember. Are the red and orange stripes an example of warm or cool colored blending? Red and orange are both considered to be warm colors. What are some warm or cool combinations that you might choose? Today I'll also show you how to blend from light to dark. Because black, gray, and brown are not on the color wheel, we will not be using them today. As you work, it's a good idea to have a placemat underneath, like a scrap sheet of paper. Not only will it protect the surface you're working on, but you can also test your colors. Some colors look completely different when you color with them than they appear on the wrapper. For example, the wrapper for these three blues looks all the same, but when I color with them, they look very different. Now remember, today we're going to be blending warm with warm or cool with cool somewhere on our cupcake wrapper. I'm going to show you an example of warm colored blending. To blend, it's helpful to first take your dark color, press down really hard along the edge, and then add a second layer of your color. The second time around, you're not going to press down as hard. This will give you a lighter version of the crayon that you're working with. It will also allow us an area where we can blend from one color to the next. Once you've used the darker color and gone up about halfway, you'll grab the lighter color. With the lighter color, you'll do the same thing. When you're up against that dark edge, you'll press down nice and hard, but once you get to the other color, you'll lighten the pressure a little bit and swirl around so that the two colors blend and mix. You really only want the two colors to blend and mix right in the middle where they meet. One of the other ways we talked about blending was from light to dark. There are two ways to do this. You can go from a darker version of a color to a lighter version of a color, like a dark pink to a light pink. Or you can go from one color to white. Adding white to a color will make it lighter. Either way, the blending process is still the same. You'll press down hard along the edge. You'll add a lighter layer where you don't press down as hard and bring that lighter layer all the way up to the middle. Then you'll grab your second color or your white and blend where the two colors meet. If your cupcake liner is folded like this one, use your color on all the same side and your white on the opposite side. For example, I use my green on the left side of each section and my white on the right. This will make it look more realistic and three-dimensional. Now it's your turn. Remember, we are coloring the liner only right now. You're going to use warm with warm or cool with cool colored blending, or you can blend from light to dark. For the cupcake icing, we're going to be doing some shading from light to dark to give it that really delicious frosty look. Here, I actually alternated between a light and a dark pink. So you can alternate colors if you wish as you color from light to dark, like I did here. I did blue and green. Or you can stick with just one color and blend it into white. Or if you would like, I can also show you how to make it look delicious and chocolatey. We're going to use the same blending techniques that we learned for the wrapper on the icing. So you can either work from dark to light, blending warm with warm or cool with cool, or you can blend from one color into white. Notice how on this one, I have an accordion folded cupcake liner. So when I blend on my frosting, I want to make sure I'm using the same side for the color and for the white as I did on the liner. So notice that my white is all on the right side on the frosting and all on the right side on the liner. Since this frosting doesn't go from left to right, I'm going to take my crayon and press down hard and put the darkest version of this color underneath all of my Sharpie lines. Pressing down hard with the crayon to get the darkest version of that color, I can add another lighter layer. This time I'm not pressing down quite as hard. After I've done that, I can take my white and I can swirl over where the white and the light layer meet. Blending from a color into white will make my icing look nice and frosty. For this one, I'm outlining the whole section with my darker color before I go in and add another lighter layer. Again, this time I'll blend into white. Now let's talk about all things chocolate. So this could be your chocolate cupcake, this could be the chocolate kiss, or even melted fudge. What you'll do is you'll take black and you'll blend from the black into the brown. So of course outline, press down hard, then add a lighter layer before grabbing your brown. I like to take my black down in a little bit in between the edges here because that'll make those white areas really pop and look like they're sticking out and shiny. Now it's time to add our brown. We're going to overlap our brown with the black. Then we'll add another light layer of brown that we could blend into a tan or a white. If you wanted this to look more like caramel, your darkest color would be brown and you would blend into a tan or even white. If you have a cherry, you can blend from black to red to white. This also works great for any sauces that are strawberry or cherry. Now that you've learned how to blend on your cupcakes and liner, the plate is another opportunity for you to show off this new skill. Now it's time to blend on your cupcake or frosting. Don't forget to color your plate and any other toppings, except for the cookie. I'll show you how to do that next. Now let's talk about the background. For those of you that chose to add a wood grain texture, we're going to make it look like realistic wood by taking a dark brown and going over all of our Sharpie lines. Then we're going to take a lighter brown and fill in everything else. For those of you that have a chocolate chip cookie, the same technique can be applied. You'll use a darker brown to go over all of your Sharpie lines, including the outside edges. Then you'll add a lighter layer of that dark brown before switching to a light color, like a light tan or even a very, very light brown. This will make it look like a realistic chocolate chip cookie. Now, just because you added a wood grain appearance doesn't mean that your tabletop has to be the actual color of wood. You could either combine a light and dark set of cool colors or a light and dark set of warm colors for an exciting look. Now let's talk some more about the background as you finish up your cupcakes. I would love to see some blending somewhere in the background, but it doesn't have to be the whole thing. So here you can see I went from dark to light on the table, but the background is colored in solidly. Here I did blending again from light to dark on the table, background is solid. This tabletop is solid, but the background is blended. And this has a little bit of blending in the pattern and on the table, but you can see all this negative or empty space in the back is solid. So the whole picture does not need to be blended, but keep in mind somewhere on your cupcake liner, you should have blending, somewhere on the frosting, you should have blending, and somewhere in the background, you should have blending. You can blend from a color to white, or blend warm with warm and cool with cool. But we should not see a cool and a warm together. So blue and red would not be good ones to blend together for this project. Purple and yellow would not be good because yellow is a warm and purple is a cool. Make sure that as you're coloring, you're filling in all of your white spots, you're pressing down really hard, and you're going in multiple directions.
I hope you have fun making your cupcakes.